All right, number 88, advice about going to see a medium. That's the subject of today's video. As always, like the video, please comment on it below, click the subscribe button. All these things help other people to see these videos. So I think this is good advice for skeptics as well as for normal people. And I just wish skeptics would do the following before shooting off their mouths. I wonder if you can hear that loud car driving by. Which is this. This is what I would do, especially if I were skeptical about mediumship. Make up a free email account. Gmail and Yahoo and others are completely free. Just make something up. Make up a name that has nothing to do with you. So if your name is Lawrence Taylor, for example, make it Jim Smith or whatever. You want to make yourself as ungoogleable as possible. Also change your Zoom name. If you're going to do the meeting over Zoom or whatever platform you're going to do it under, just temporarily change your name, in this case from Lawrence to Jim, because you can always change it back. You want to make yourself look like someone that's not you, because they're not supposed to read you. They're supposed to connect with your loved ones in spirit. I have gotten reading, and see, this is also, to me, this is comforting, even when you do completely believe in the spirit world and in mediumship, because I've gotten readings from people that were so incredibly detailed that this little part of my brain, this nasty part of my brain was like, did they Google me? Except that what they were telling me were things like childhood nicknames, like stuff that could not be Googled. So I don't know, I think it adds a level of comfort to just make up an email and change your Zoom name or whatever platform and do the reading that way. Someone did this to me once. I kept getting a name and connected with the person in spirit. She said, actually, that's my real name. I changed it on the Zoom window. I'm like, oh, well, that's okay. I think that's a good idea. And also, I did have one client who had experienced 2 fraudulent mediums in a row. She had an unusual name, and they Googled her unusual name, and they started telling her about that other woman's life. There was another person with her same strange name. And so frauds absolutely do exist. People pretending to be psychic, people pretending to be mediums is not uncommon, unfortunately. So I just think it's a good idea. Now, all of that aside, when you go to see a real medium, on the day of your appointment, or even leading up to it, but especially on the day of, invite the people that you want to hear. Say it out loud. So-and-so, I'm going to a medium, I want you to come through. Say it. And if it feels just too silly to say it out loud, say it in your head and look at pictures of them, run over in your mind memories of them. You want to attract their attention. And if you can, be as playful about that as possible. Now, if your grief is new and fresh, that can be counterintuitive, but truly the happier we can honestly be, the easier it is for us to connect with them. So play with it if you can. Absolutely, I think you should do an audio recording of the session, and if the medium does not allow that, go to someone else. I always provide an audio recording for everyone because I think that's nice to have. You forget what's said, and that way you don't have to furiously keep writing notes. But also, quite frankly, it's for my own protection. I don't want anybody saying, he told me my grandma said to stop all medical treatment or whatever. I had a medium who I have a friend who's a medium where someone said something along those lines, and it was very positive and the outcome was good, but that medium was like, I never said anything like that. So, and if you are a medium, I suggest you do record your sessions, whether or not you provide that to the client, because people hear things that you do not say. I've been a guest speaker at several churches, spiritualist churches and Unitarian Universalist churches, and I have a lot of friends who are clergy, and I'm married to clergy, and people frequently hear things in sermons that were not said. And it's always positive, like, oh, I really loved when you said, you know, whatever. And I thought, and this has happened to me a few times, and I thought, oh, I never said that, but I'm glad that's what you got out of that. And that's happened to my husband and to clergy friends of ours a lot. It's real common for people to hear things that are not said, literally. So it's good to have the recording there. As you're getting the reading, as it's happening, and you're the client, try as hard as you can to stick to yes or no, and I understand and I don't understand. And let people in spirit give details through the medium. It's very tempting to get sort of run away with the moment and say, oh, that's my mom who died of cancer in 1997 in San Francisco. Like, let them give those details, because then you can see that people in spirit can give those details. Yeah, just try that. Just stick to yes and no, and I understand or I don't understand. I think that's very good advice. And if you want to connect with a specific person, and the medium happens not to connect. So this happens to me a lot. People have a particular person they want to hear from. And I always tell them, well, let's let whoever come through. Sometimes it's immediately that person. Sometimes I get a more obscure person, like a neighbor from childhood or a high school teacher. And then that leads into the person they really want. That just happened with the last paying client that I had. They really wanted their mom, and I got their grandmother first, and then that led to their mom. So that absolutely happens. But if it's not working out, and you can tell the medium, and this is okay with some mediums, not with others, but you can say, well, there's one particular person, and just give their first name only. Do not give the relationship like my spouse, my parent, my whoever. Just give a first name and nothing else, and see if that connects. That's good for me. I've done this a few times. Mediums call this dialing direct. It's better just to get a first name without any other information, because we all have ideas in our heads about what a wife is, or a husband, or a mother, or a father. Right. So that's that. I can't think of anything else to say on the subject of advice about going to see a medium. Please put your comments below if there's stuff you think that I left out. Next week, I want to talk about how this came up on a thread I was watching recently, how mediumship never goes away. Newer mediums, especially, or developed mediums, will feel like they're losing it, or that it's gone away altogether. And really, what's happening there is that it's changing and evolving. And I do have an early video of mine talking about how mediumship evolves, but I have to tell you, it never ever goes away. Once a medium, always a medium, whether or not you choose to do it. So that's next week's video. Until then, thank you for watching this time. And like the video, comment on below, click the subscribe button, and thank you for watching. And